Hello guys, my name is Yegwen and you're watching Yegalisk TV, your favorite online show for bringing esports one step closer to you. In today's episode of Dota 2 Academy, we will cover a couple of topics. This episode will be broken in a couple of parts, and we will go through the general topic of items. And let me just show you something. This is what you see when you go to the Learn tab and click on items. And this is the moment in your life where you realize, my god, there's a lot of items in Dota 2. And that's 128 items to be exact. A very nice round number if you have studied IT science. And you know, people are usually overwhelmed with the general quantity of the items, and then they feel, oh, I'm never going to learn that. I don't know what this is about. I just have no idea how to get my head around this. So worry not, my friends. Today I will take you through, well, not every single item. There are guides that do that on the internet, but I will just give you a general idea for what the specific sections of the items are for, and what is the general purpose, how can you take a look on the items as a bigger picture instead of just specific items. And really, if well, what I have done in the past, where I was just trying to find my way around the items, is I've spent like 5 hours just reading through every single item, and I clicked on every single item and read the descriptions, and after those 5 hours it made no sense to me. But then I read a couple of comments on the internet, and boom, a clear picture emerged, and in fact, you know, grasping the concept of all the items is not that difficult of a job. So let me just start a game. It will be easier to show you the items from inside the game where I can cheat. Start a game. So anyway, guys, the items are spread in a couple of different categories, and they all make sense. That they are grouped quite well. And if you just give it a moment to think about, if you just give it a moment to look through these, it will make sense to you as well. Okay, I'll pick Axe as my character because Axe is one of the coolest characters that have been created in Dota 2. And let's start. So you know, first off, what you will notice is I have changed the view of how my items look like. Normally you will see this, a list of all the items on your right side. That's well, it's okay if you want to learn the names, if you want to spend some time browsing. What's very useful is this grid view. With grid view, you will just learn how the items look like, and the icons, well, quite fast. So if you use the grid view, you will just be able to take a quick look on this, purchase the item you want, and that's it. You won't spend too much time staring at this menu or browsing through names. And also, what's very useful, and not many people notice this when they start playing, is you can actually find items by typing in here. So if I want to find Diffusal Blade, hey, I have Diffusal Blade here. If I want to find the Divine Rapier, here's the Divine Rapier. So everything is here. You can use quick search tool, and that's sometimes, if you're not too familiar with these items, with the layout, it's even faster just to type a couple of letters like Quelling Blade, and hey, I have Quelling Blade, and we have a buckler, you know. So it's all nice and easy, and sometimes, yes, it is faster than just checking through this item grid. So for now, let's switch back to this list view, and I'll take you through all the categories, because items are separated into categories, and if you look at them from that angle, you will start to see the sense of how they are arranged. Okay, so starting, we have items that are called consumables, and that's all obvious and easy. They are just items that you eat during the game, or use, or cast, or you know, whatever, throw them out. Basically, you have a mana potion and health potion called Clarity and Healing Salve. You have Tango, which is I would imagine something like Lembasses from the Lord of the Rings. You just have some bread that is rolled inside a freaking forest in a freaking leaf. So Golem wouldn't be too happy with these. Then you have Smoke of Deceit and Dust of Appearance. That you can think about them like the counterparts. Smoke of Deceit makes you disappear, Dust of Appearance makes you appear, or in fact makes the enemies appear. Town Portal Scroll, Animal Courier, Flying Courier. Just don't make the mistake of buying this first. Observer Ward, which just gives you vision, and Sentry Ward, which gives you detection for invisible enemies, and the Bottle, which is very underused by the beginning players, but in most cases they don't go middle, so they don't need a bottle anyway. Okay, so these are consumables. These are items that you just eat. Then off we go to the second group, and this group, as you can see, is here the second column. So the second group is about attributes, and this is the simplest of all of the groups. What this gives is specifically bonuses to your attributes, and your attributes are strength, dexterity, agility, and intelligence, and this gives exactly this. So Iron Branch is the best item in the game. This is the GG branch. It gives you +1 to all attributes, and if you think about the cost, it's quite awesome. Well, unfortunately, you don't have too many spaces in your inventory, so you can't keep too many Iron Branches. Then we have Gauntlets of Strength, then Slippers of Agility, Mantle of Intelligence. Each of them gives +3 flat bonus to a given stat. Then we have a Circlet, which gives +2 to all attributes and is, some form of an upgrade of Iron Branch, but more than 3 times as expensive. Belt of Strength, Band of Elven Skin, and Robe of the Magi. That's all fine. Give +6. Then we have +10 bonuses to the stat, and the Ultimate Orb, which gives +10 to all attributes. So this group, again, see, it's simple. This group is just for flat attribute bonuses. The next group, Armaments. It's mostly about protecting yourself and attack damage. It's not very fancy. It gives armor bonus, it gives melee bonus against creeps when you use Quelling Blade, or the ability to block attacks with the Stout Shield. Next items give plus damage, armor, and this is the only item that has something different, which is the HP regeneration. And Javelin, yeah, that has a chance to pierce. So anyway, these guys give, you can think about them like bonuses to armor, so your defense, and bonuses to your attack, offense. And that's really the easiest way to think about it. Armaments, the third group, is about bonuses to your attack and defense. Now let's go to the fourth group, which is the Arcane. So the Arcane are more advanced devices, magic devices that give you bonuses and also some form of ability and are related to regeneration in many ways. Also, so you have Magic Stick, which is important for regenerating your health. Sage's Mask, Ring of Regen, that give bonuses to your mana and health regeneration. Boots of Speed, which are the basic boots in the game. Gloves of Haste, plus 15 attack speed. The Cloak, that gives spell resistance. It's by the way, the Cloak is one of the best spell resistance items in the game, because it gives you 15% of spell resistance for 550 gold, and that's it. It fills up an inventory slot, but you can even get it up if you're later in the game. You can get it up to Hood of Defiance, which is a very cool item. Okay. Then we have the Gem of True Sight, which gives you the detection and vision of invisible units. You have some lifesteal. You have the ability to become invulnerable to physical attacks, evasion, and Blink Dagger, and Shadow Amulet. So anyway, these items are more fancy items, and they provide you with regen, and they provide you with some form of basic ability upgrades. Now moving on to the fourth tab, to the fifth tab, and in general the second tab here. So we have the basics, so that we have just covered, and we also have the upgrades here. And again, I won't be going into every specific items, because there are just too many items in the game to describe them all. It would take more than an hour. But I will take you through, what the general idea behind them is, and how can you find your way in between all of this mess here. So what we have in the upgrades, the basic tab is common items. These are the green items that, you know, for some reason the green color amongst all RPG creators is the color of the items that are just better than average items, but they are not yet magical, you know? You know what I mean? Every time you play an RPG, I'm quite sure you have been in this situation, there is a green item that drops. And you go like, ah, shit, it's a green item. Even though you have just started playing the game, you know that that item, even though it's slightly better than a trash, is still no good. It's not as good as a blue item. By the way, does any one of you know why do we have this general understanding of which color means which grade of items in RPGs? Did someone come up with a template saying, oh, I think legendaries should be orange because, well, orange is the best color ever? Who came up with that stuff? But getting back to Dota 2, here we have items that are in most cases created from the previous sets of items. So we have the Wraith Band, Null Talisman, and Bracer, and all of them work exactly the same. So they have +3 to everything, +3 damage, and +3 to all of the stats, and a bonus +3 to the stat of choice. So like here we have 6 intelligence and 3 of everything else. Here we have 6 agility and 3 of everything else. 6 strength and 3 of everything else. This is basically how it works. And you know, they are created by merging circlet, something else, and a recipe. Then we have a magic wand. Most people think that, hey, magic wand is just something that regenerates your health. Yes, but don't forget that magic wand also gives you +3 to all of the attributes. So it's a very useful item to have. It takes up a single inventory slot, and then it allows you to restore your health. It's very cheap, so it's one of the sickest items in the whole game, and it's rather underused by players who are just starting their adventure with Dota 2. Okay, moving on next, we have Poor Man's Shield, which is an advanced shield. It's an advanced shield used for agility characters that may took a little bit of a beating but want to prevent the extra damage. Soul Ring, which transfers your health into, your health into mana. 3 types of boots: Phase Boots, Power Treads, and Boots of Travel. They are the upgrades of the boots. And we have Oblivion Staff, Perseverance, and Hand of Midas, which are just utility items. This gives more mana regeneration. This has great mana regeneration plus HP regeneration and damage. This allows you to turn mobs into pure gold. And, you know, if you could turn your eggs into pure gold, that would be something. So, Hand of Midas it is. Moving on, we have the next tab, which is called Support, and exactly as it is called, it's a tab that gathers all of the support items in the game, and they, I'm not really sure how to describe it, but except one, which is the Medallion of Courage, they have just effects that benefit the party. So. Let me try and explain. So, Ring of Basilius, it gives bonus mana regeneration to everyone around you, and also bonus armor. Then we have Headdress, which gives bonus attributes to everyone else. Bonus HP to everyone else. The Buckler, which is the one that gives bonus attributes. Urn of Shadows that you can use to heal. Then we have this one, and this is basically something that has evolved from Wraith's Band. We have Tranquil Boots that are also used for healing. Medallion of Courage is a very offensive item that you use when you want to attack someone really hard, but you then also take a beating. And Arcane Boots, which recover mana. Then we have Drum of Endurance, which also gives a little bit of healing. Vladimir's Offering, which gives Vampiric Aura to everyone around you. It's just a life steal mechanism that gives a heal, and Pipe of Insight that prevents spell damage. So these items in the support tab are just items for supporters. If you don't know your way around Dota, you don't know how exactly you should play a support role, try looking through these items, try looking for ideas, and then you'll see, oh, well, it's quite cheap. I mean, Mechanism or Pipe of Insight aren't as expensive as the offensive items. I can afford them. I can help my team to fight better. I can be a very useful teammate to have. So this is where you look for the support items. Moving on, we have the caster items, and in the caster items tab, what we have, the most of the items that we have are the items specifically for casters. So these items focus on intelligence. These items, most of them, just give you a flat intelligence bonus plus a magic effect, because you want to be this cool mage that just knows how to do stuff. You know, you just don't go around having a wand and people ask you, oh, what does this wand make? It keeps me steady, my knees are very wobbly at this late age. No, you want to have a wand that shoots fireballs on summons creatures from the depths of hell. You want to have a wand or a staff that makes you jump 200 feet in the air. You want to have some cool wand, not just an oaken one. So getting back here, we have a force staff that we'll be using later on today that makes you jump, exactly. Necronomicon. If you have ever read, and I strongly imply you to do so, Lovecraft series about Call of Cthulhu, you should definitely give it a read. Then this is basically an analogy to that. The Necronomicon was created, but if I'm not mistaken, Abdul Al-Hazared in Lovecraft's universe. Yeah, anyway, it summons creatures from the depths of hell. One of them just blows up, the second one steals mana. We have El's Scepter, which creates a cyclone that throws enemies in the air. We have a Dagon, which also is something that tries to come from Lovecraft's universe. And this gives a cool bonus to intelligence. Is very expensive, but then you are allowed to use Dagon to shoot fireballs at your enemies, and it gives 400 burst damage. Just use the finger of the god and say you, and you attack with Dagon. Very cool. Then we have Veil of Discord, Rod of Athos. This is one that gives the slow. This is one that implies the magic damage. Now this one, Aghanim Scepter, is by far one of the most popular items in the game for nearly every single hero, because what it does is, it upgrades the ultimate of most of the characters. So now, not every character is very happy with the upgrade they get. But for example, Tiny gets a freaking branch that he can carry in his hand, and it just gives him more strength and damage. So it's cool. Most of the characters really like Aghanim Scepter, especially casters, because in Dota 2 there is no such thing as bonus ability power. That's something that belongs to the League of Legends side. And in League of Legends, you get bonus ability power, and you can play Veigar, and he just gets bonus ability power everywhere by killing stuff. In Dota 2, if you're a caster, you're extremely good at the start of the game, but the later the game goes, it becomes more difficult for you to handle the damage, because people just get more health when they level up. They get more health with items, and your damage isn't up to par. And you can't keep on, and you know, Aghanim Scepter, which upgrades your ultimate, is one of the best way to cope with that, so you stay on top of everything for a little while longer before you became a less usable character for your own team. So that's Aghanim Scepter. It's an extremely good item, and if you don't have an idea what to get, you should most definitely get this or Black King Bar. Now we have Orchid Malevolence, and this is one that gives silence, a refresher orb, a very expensive item, but the hell it gives the satisfaction. If you're playing as Zeus, and you have just used your ultimate that damages all the characters on the map, and you pop the refresher orb and use your ultimate again, my god, it gives satisfaction, and the looks on their faces when they are killed, and they haven't been expecting that. actually, when I was playing with my friends, we have won a game that way just by having a refresher orb on Zeus, and it was so cool. The next item that we have here is Kite of Fish, and this basically is a sheep stick. It's called that way because it turns the enemy into an animal. So it's, you know, it's just a way of crowd controlling the enemies. Now let's move on to the next category, which is the weapons. Yes, and weapons are mostly, well, all of them, let's be frank. You know, caster items were here. These are the cool stuffs that you may want to have. And here are weapons. So here are the weapons for heavy fighters. And we have weapons like Crystallis, which gives bonus damage and the ability to have a critical strike. Because in Dota 2 not every character has a critical strike. Well, if you don't have a passive that would give you a critical strike from one of your abilities, you don't have the ability to critical strike at all. So critical strike is something that you get with Crystallis. Then we have Armament of Mordregan that drains your health but gives you a lot of stat bonuses, Skull Basher that stuns, Shadow Blade that makes you invisible, etc, etc, etc. So, you know, all of these are weapons. A very notable choice is a Divine Rapier. That's 6,200 gold. Guys, don't buy this stuff. I mean, the only character that Divine Rapier makes a little bit of sense on is a Skeleton King. And in most cases, that Skeleton King would prefer to have Immortal's Shield on it, Aegis of the Immortals on it. So Divine Rapier is a weapon that gives you a crazy bonus of 300 damage, and that's awesome. But then when you die, you drop it, and your foes just pick it up and they rip your asses apart, and you are sorry that you have just spent 6,000 gold and given it up to your enemy. Don't do that. If you ever see someone purchasing a Divine Rapier in your team, yeah, have him kicked out. Okay, now we have a very notable weapon, which is the Daedalus, and it just gives even more critical strike damage and chance. Monkey King Bar, which gives us a chance of doing a mini stun, which is you know, a damage dealer, but also it gives you True Strike. Sorry, I have confused this with the Basher. This gives you a True Strike ability, which prevents your attacks from missing, which is important. Now, you know, in Dota 2, when you're attacking uphill, so if your opponent is standing higher and you're attacking him, you have a 25% or even 50% chance to miss. And if you wear Monkey King Bar, you know, there's no such thing as evasion for you. There's no such thing as fighting uphill. That, you know, you always hit with the attacks. Is extremely useful item to have if you're a right clicker, which means you're you know, a character that just deals physical damage to your enemies. Radiance, which just radiates with the energy and burns everything around, extremely annoying. And Ethereal Blade, which turns you and your opponent to a ghost, so you can deal more damage. So anyway, these are the weapons, and in most cases they are related to dealing more damage, or dealing damage faster, or dealing damage in more burst way by having a critical strike. Onwards we go to the armor, and armor, as you can imagine, is a more advanced tab where you have the defensive items, and you have a lot of them here. Often they are misappreciated because people think, well, yeah, what do I need the defense for? But this game is really about surviving. So first we have two very notable items. One is Hood of Defiance, which gives you a little bit of HP regeneration, but most importantly it gives you 30% spell resistance. It's a must-have item if you're playing against casters.
Your middle tower is under attack.
And intelligence characters in general. Now then we have Vanguard, which gives you a huge chance to block, which is 70%. You know, and a lot of health and regeneration bonus. Now this little fellow, Blade Mail, is also misappreciated. It costs only 2,000 gold, 2,200 to be precise. But what it gives is if you activate it, and the cooldown is I think 22 seconds, if you activate it, it returns any damage that you take. So if you're in the middle of a fight, or if you're playing Axe, and Axe is a great example of a character that can benefit greatly from Blade Mail, if you just pop into a huge fight, taunt everyone to attack you, and then turn Blade Mail on, so then as long as you can keep up with your health and stay alive during the fight, you will return all the damage that you take. And my god, this brings a happy face in your life, and it makes your teammates smile, because you can single-handedly win a fight with having a Blade Mail. And again, like I'm saying, it's not very expensive, so it's always worth to have. Then we have Soul Booster, which is the most powerful bonus in the game, to health, mana, HP regeneration, and also mana regeneration. It's if you run out of ideas what to get for the end game, and if you're a caster, it's always a good place to get thing to get. Now, Black King Bar is one of the most commonly used items alongside Aghanim Scepter in the whole game, because it is useful for most of the characters. What it gives you is a magic immunity, which means you cannot be targeted with spells. And during late game, where everyone is buffed and you just see this huge bull rushing your way and trying to taunt you, or trying to enclose you in some sphere that stops you moving, or in fact Black King Bar doesn't prevent from that, but anyway, Black King Bar just makes you invulnerable to being focused with magic, and people can only right click you when Black King Bar is available. The downside of Black King Bar is that the duration just gets lower with each use, so it's like wearing off. Its magic is wearing off with time. So first you get 10 seconds, then if you use it twice you get 9 seconds, etc, etc. But then the cooldown lowers, so it's all a matter of a good balance. I mean, you usually want to store Black King Bar for team fights, not just use it anywhere on the map. Then off we go to Shiva's Guard, which is a slowing freezing wave, Manta style that creates illusions of you, a Bloodstone, a very useful thing to have on a support guy, because what it gives you is the ability to get revived faster. It reduces the time you spend being dead. If you get killed, you just wait less, and also it gathers charges, and for every charge that it gathers, now you're playing a support character, so you don't really mind being killed in team fights, and this Bloodstone is exactly for that sort of characters that just need to fire that single spell, like you're playing a Lich. You want to fire off your ultimate, and that's it. You can be focused and killed after that. You have done your job, you have done the damage you were supposed to do, you have played your role, and now you can die, and you will just soak some damage. Now, what Bloodstone gives to a support character, well, to every character, is when that character dies, Bloodstone renews it. It gives some health and mana back to everyone that was around you when you died. So it's like a comfort. It's like saying, it's okay, I'll get back to you guys, don't worry, you'll be fine. And it fills them up with positive cheer and energy, despite the fact that you have just departed from this world, and it allows them to carry on fighting further. Now, Lincoln's Spur, an expensive item, but it improves survivability a lot, so you may want to pick it up if you have trouble with surviving. Assault Kiras, that's a great item if you're playing very aggressively, because it gives attack speed bonus and armor to everyone around you, and besides that it has a nice bonus of itself. And Heart of Tarashkir, it's great for players that that play solo, if you that play solo, if you know what I mean, because Heart of Tarashkir is just that sort of an item you want to carry, go, harass some, then escape, like Klings. You can have Heart of Tarashkir on Klings. Yeah, I know it's not very straightforward, but you go, harass, and then want to get back somewhere or disappear and try and harass somewhere else. And Heart of Tarashkir just gives you a great health regen outside combat. Right. Besides that, we have one last group, which is the group of legendaries, and I think they're called the artifacts here, and they're also orange because, as we know, orange is just a cool color. First, we have Helm of the Dominator, Mask of Madness, which are helms. Helm of Dominator, it gives you lifesteal, and also it gives you an ability to control an animal. Mask of Madness is some form of going berserk. It gives you lifesteal, it gives you bonus damage and movement speed, but also it makes you more vulnerable to attacks. Sanj and Yasha, good weapons to have around. They give bonuses to movement speed and also some bonus attributes. Desolator lowers the armor on your enemy. Heaven's Halberd, also nice to have, disarms the character. Sanj and Yasha is just, you know, a composition of Sanj and Yasha, obviously. Mjolnir, it gives chain lightning chance, so it's a bonus damage. And Satanic, if you activate Satanic, it's the best lifesteal item in the game, so you get 175% of lifesteal for 3.5 seconds. That's ultra cool if you have some nice health pool and good damage. Then Satanic is the way to go. And Eye of Skadi, that's just something that slows enemies down. So more or less, guys, these are the items of Dota, and I think that after watching this video on YouTube or watching this live, it will just make more sense to you, because if you have just approached Dota and you check that items tab, it all looks daunting, doesn't it? And after having someone to explain to you what the items are for, what the different roles for it are, and just introducing some sense into this whole picture, it should be easier for you. So well, I hope this video helped you. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you have any feedback or questions, if you're watching this live, you should have questions. Please post them on the chat right now. I will answer the questions in a moment. And for those of you that are watching this on YouTube, I always invite you to watch the shows live. You can find the calendar on twitch.tv/Yegwen. The address is below this video. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll be right back with you in a second.